and welcome to Let's Talk Sunday, where we talk about everything under the sun and nothing is off limits. Welcome to Let's Talk Sunday. Hello, everyone. Hello. Sharice Johnson Moore here, and it is time. It's time for Let's Talk Sunday. Today on Let's Talk Sunday, I have a particular topic I would like to talk about, right? And the thing is that we must always be ready to start over. Starting over, and where do you start? Okay, that is our topic for today. I just want to say, my name is Sharice Johnson Moore. I am your hope builder, lifting you up out of your sorrow by guiding you to see the Christ within through scripture and practical applications. I want to say hello to everyone out there in our viewing audience, right? And if you're new here, welcome to Let's Talk Sunday. Today's topic is starting over, and where do we start? Okay, starting over is a process where you may need to reevaluate your life and where it is going. You may have to reevaluate the situations that you are dealing with and start over. You may be dealing with grief or new environments, and it is a thing of starting over. Where do you start? Okay, let's start with new environments. Say you're moving somewhere or you want to move somewhere, and the process before you move is you got to find your place. You got to, get your place together where you're moving, and it's a new city, a new environment. You don't know nobody there, or you might be moving where family members reside, and you want to be comfortable with your starting over. There ain't nothing wrong with starting over. I've started over many times. Okay, so you're not alone. If you're watching this video and you're in the process of starting over, and sometimes starting over in a new environment means you may have to go to the place to find you a place to stay, and look at the place and see how it look. And now they can do all that virtually, but I'm old fashioned, so I like to go look at what I'm going to move into or what I think I want to move into. You have to, have your funds together. Starting over is sometimes I'm not gonna sit and tell you no story. Starting over, yes, it can cost you with your first month's rent and your deposit and turn all the utilities and things like that. And and starting over means in investigating where you may be staying or moving to. Is it the right neighborhood? Is it the right apartment complex? Is it the right house in the right neighborhood? Things of that nature. And if you don't have a car, that means you might want to turn around and investigate, do they have public transportation? Public transportation. Now, if you got your own car, yeah, okay, you could do your research, go in the neighborhood, find out where everything is, do your investigation in that way. Find out where the grocery store at, Walmart, stores like that you like to frequent on a frequent basis. Okay, so you'll know how to get around and maneuver in the city that you're moving to, or town, or or you might be moving somewhere else in the same city, but on the other side of town. And so we are, you want to, like I say, investigate where you're moving to. Okay, starting over also may mean that you have dealt with death in your life and grief. And when that is come upon you, it is very important that you deal with your emotions, deal with the way that you feel, handle your emotions. You know, if you feel like crying, cry. You feel like punching the wall up, punch the wall up. Grief can range through different emotions, where it's regret, it is want to take the place of the person that you might have lost, um, uh, wondering why did this happen, or you wasn't prepared for the person to pass, and it causes a ripple of emotions in your life. So in the process of that, you may want to, sit down and deal with your emotions. There's nothing wrong with the way you feel. If it's grief, if it's like a grief of passing of a loved one or a close friend or someone you thought is a brother and a sister. And the thing is you have to, and the thing is that sometimes you are dealt with these emotions, and the emotions carry you through a ripple of effects, from grief to sadness to depression to highs and lows, reminiscing about the person that you might miss. Um, sit, sit and enjoy the emotions that you are feeling. And they might not be good feelings. All feelings are not good when it comes to grief. Okay, I get it, because I dealt with that with three deaths in my life right behind each other, and I was not prepared for any three of them to go. My grandmother in 2011, my father in 2014, and then my mother 6 months later, January 2015. And the thing is, I had to deal with those emotions, and those emotions catapulted me to want something out of life. They catapulted me, they pushed me into, I want more out of life than just what I have. I want more out of life. Sometimes grief pushes you into your next level of your life. And sometimes grief may have the opposite direction, where you're digressing, or you have gone back into a state of mind where you have that state of mind keeps you in the past. Okay, but you can't get stuck there. You can't get stuck there. I'm just gonna tell you, you can't get stuck there, because God has something else for you to do. God has a purpose for you. And you can't, and even though it's hard to move from this situation, sometimes it is best to put a purpose. I found out when grief hit me that it catapulted me that I wanted more things out of life. I didn't just want to live and do the same things over and over and over and over again. And it can catapult you into your next level, where you want to say, okay, maybe, I could take the fear out of what I want to do. Fear can hold us back because we've listened to other people's opinions, or we've listened to other people talk bad about us or saying negative things about us, and we actually started believing what they were saying. Okay, I was one of them, but I decided, you have a choice. You have a choice what your next part of your life will look like. When it comes to, what where do I see myself in the future? 5, 10, 20 years from now? And that was a question I asked myself when I lost the three loved ones in my life. And it catapulted me to go after everything I wanted, everything I thought I could do, everything I didn't think I could do. I started stepping out on faith and doing those things and starting over. It also may require therapy. Starting over may require therapy. It may require therapy. It may even require a change of scenery. And ain't nothing wrong going to a therapist. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Going to a psychiatrist, therapist. if you feel like that you need to talk this over with somebody and you can't trust a family member or you can't trust your friends or you can't trust the closest people in your circle, that and nothing wrong with therapists because therapists have the confidentiality between therapist and patient. So the therapist can't go out here and tell your business or what you said or how you really feel about uh, people, places, and things. And therapy is a good outlet because if you hold on to your emotions, if you hold on to them too long, they will fester and come out in other ways. I'm letting you know. They will come out and fester in other ways and develop into maybe bad habits or good habits or we they develop in ways. Starting over may mean that you might have to go back to school and learn some stuff. Learn. Ain't no wrong with getting an education. And my grandma said education. And and going back to school and getting your degree that you wanted. Getting your, going back to get that associates or bachelors or masters, and you know, I encourage everyone within the sound of my voice that God is with you through it all, the good, bad, and the ugly. Starting over may mean that you have to turn around and change them people, places, and things that do not serve you any purpose anymore. And sometimes ain't nothing wrong with loving people from a distance, loving people from a distance, and that is very important to us that we love ourselves. Sometimes that means putting yourself first. We sometimes put everybody else before our needs, and sometimes it is a thing of that we have to that we have to uh, that we have to take ourselves and fulfill our needs. Sometimes that starting over is what makes me happy and what do I enjoy? What do I enjoy doing? What do I enjoy doing? Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So like I said, the things that make us happy, the things that make us cheer and really inspire us to do something radical with our lives. Radical. Like moving somewhere or getting a new car or uh you know setting goals for yourself that you have set in a due set of process of time, like 6 months, I want to do this, 6 months, I want to do that. Or even when it comes to starting a business that you've been putting off for the longest of time, that you've been procrastinating about, and just deep diving into what you like to do about you. Love you first. Love what you like about you. And if you don't like some things that you do, change them. We all have choices. We all have a mindset that God has given us to turn around and do wonders. He could do things suddenly in your life, and you don't realize. Wait a minute, how did I get healed? How did this happen, or how did this come about, or things like that. And sometimes we just have to love ourselves a little bit more deeply. And loving yourself ain't nothing selfish with that. Ain't nothing selfish with loving yourself. Loving yourself brings out the joy in you, brings out the God given light within your soul that He has within you, and starting over also may require boundaries. Boundaries. Well, you know that you want to be treated a certain way, or you want to be interacted in a certain way when people are around you. And sometimes that requires you step away and say, no, I don't like the way you talk to me, or I don't like the way you treat me when I come around, or they might be disrespectful, or they had little snide remarks, and you got to pay attention to that stuff. Okay, the snide remarks, or how they, how they interact with you, and things of that nature. And when you find out that they are backstabbers, you have a choice of whether you want to keep them in your life or not. Whether they gossip, or whatever habits they have, where they skin and grin in your face, and then it's okay. All right, I'm gonna talk about you behind your back. Okay, it's called boundaries, and that boundary may include my business ain't everybody's business. Have you ever thought of that? I've had to learn from that myself. But everything I do in my life is not everybody's business, because everybody ain't gonna be happy for you. Okay, let me just say that everybody you have in your life, you have to have boundaries, and your business is not everybody's business, because some people are not gonna be happy for you. And hey, that's cool. That's cool. But you're starting over. You're starting over me like, okay, well, hey, how you doing? Hi, bye, see you later. Might be that, and get into the things that you like to do for yourself that make you happy. Like it says, it's coming back to loving yourself. Okay, loving yourself and it requires you first. Okay, if you see this ticker tape at the bottom of your screen, it's talking about my book, Coming to Loving Yourself. It was written and published right after my mother's death. And I wrote the book for the sake of saving me to save you. It is entitled Coming to Loving Yourself. It is available at Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Kindle, also my website, www.sharicenjohnsonmoore.com/shop. It is available there. And I also wrote another book. It is entitled Coming to Loving Yourself, Study Guide to Building Your Self-Worth. It's a workbook. Workbook also helps you reevaluate your life, reevaluate the things that you want to do with your life, and where you can, start over. Start over. The when I wrote the book, Coming to Loving Yourself, God gave me this message. God gave me this message. I was sitting in my mother's funeral, and I heard a voice saying, "Now it's time to write the book." And I'm sitting there looking around and everything. Like, anybody else hear what I just heard? And then the voice said it again, "Write the book." Okay. So as soon as I came back from my mother's funeral to where I live at in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, I started writing the book the next day. And it is in chronological order from birth up to age of 40. And it is a story about, it's an autobiography, inspirational. And I wanted to share it and wrote it for the sake of, at first, it was about making money. Then I realized God said it's more, it's more than that. It's more than you making money from a product that you produce. It is sharing a message with men and women in life that they can overcome and they will walk through, and God is not through with you yet. God is not through with you yet. You might have been through some trials and tribulations and ups and downs, and you might have dealt with abandonment, sexual abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. You might have dealt with feeling like an outcast growing up in your school or with the people you grew up with, and you deal with so many, and not feeling worthy of love, and not feeling of worthy of being in presence of others, and self-esteem. You might have dealt with that as a catalyst too. And how they say, life and death lies in the power of your tongue. And sometimes the stuff people say to us stick with us and cause us to cause us to um, react in different ways. And sometimes your reaction is not positive. Sometimes the response to what everything you've been taught in your life as a child has a different meaning for you. And it has a bad outcome, but you don't have to stay there. You don't have to live there. You don't have to dwell there. You don't have to do anything in your past. You can let that past be your past, or let it be a lesson to somebody else. Preach that word to someone else, that God has brought you through what he has brought you through for the purpose of saving someone else. So that is why the book is written, because I want to save someone else from their own self-destruction. I know, because I've dealt with a lot of stuff in my life. So you can go to www.ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com/shop, or you can go to Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads to acquire Coming to Loving Yourself, the autobiography, inspirational book, and Coming to Loving Yourself study guide to building your self-worth. You can purchase that directly from me. www.ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com, and I will be glad to send you a copy. And right now, I am currently working on the things that you want to do. Work on the things, God give you the spirit of, say you want to crochet, and say you want to start a crochet business, and you want to start a t-shirt business, and you want to starting over means creating a world that you want to live in. Creating a world that you want to live in, that you want to see the fruits of your labor, that all the hard work that you're working for, right? And coming to loving yourself is such a big part of it. And listening to the inner voice God is telling you to become the person that he wants you to be. I want to thank everyone for being in this broadcast. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being there for me and viewing this show. It's called Let's Talk Sunday. If you want to have topics talked about, send them to my email address. I am Sharice at ShariceNJohnsonMoore.com, and I will. Hey, I like reading my emails. I like read them early in the morning. There's some things that I've acquired that I like to do. I like to go ahead and read my emails early in the morning and get that out the way, so I don't have to deal with that later on in the day. Okay, so do the things that you like to do. Okay, I love you, and I want you to have a very blessed day. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sunday, where we talk about everything under the sun and nothing is off limits. Welcome to Let's Talk Sunday.